Hey guys, welcome back. In this tutorial, we're going to explore the Motion Expressions tool, a free and powerful tool available in the MotionDesk panel. Through the Market section inside MotionDesk, you can easily access all available tools, their updates, links, and notifications. I've already downloaded Motion Expressions beforehand. To install it, I'll simply drag the file into the drop zone of the panel. Now the tool is successfully added and ready to use inside my panel. So let's begin the training step by step. Now, let's open Motion Expressions from the panel. Within this tool, there are 6 main options that allow us to create automatic animations. At the bottom, you can see the settings related to the option you select. Here, I'll choose Time Drive. To work with this option, you first need to select a property of the layer. In this example, I'll select Position. I'll click Apply to Selection to apply the effect. As you can see, the star shape begins moving smoothly forward along both the X and Y axes. By enabling the Invert option, I can easily reverse the direction of the motion. By selecting Position again and clicking Remove Expression, the expression and all created controls are easily cleared. Now, I'll select Position once more, but this time I'll disable the Link X and Y option in the tool settings and apply it again. As you can see, the controls for X and Y have been separated in the Effects panel, allowing us to adjust them individually. For this example, I'll set the Y movement to 0 and increase the speed of the X movement. Next, I'll remove the expression again. This time, I'll activate the Property Start Offset control from the tool settings. I'll right-click on Position and choose Separate Dimensions so that the X and Y positions are split. Then, I'll select X position and apply the effect. A new control named Start Offset has been added to the layer settings. This control delays the beginning of the animation by the numeric value entered. For instance, if I set it to 2, the animation will start from the 2-second mark. There's an important detail here. If I move the layer forward or backward in the timeline, you can see that the X position value is always calculated relative to time 0. In other words, shifting the layer has no effect. The value remains the same at all times. To make the calculation relative to the start of the layer itself, we need to enable the Use Layer Time option in the tool settings before applying the expression. I'll activate this option and apply it again. Now, as you can see, the motion begins from the actual start of the layer, and before that point, the value remains fixed. All right, let's move on to the next example. Here I've got 3 circle lines, and I've turned on 3D for these layers. On the first one, I'll apply Time Drive to its orientation. Then I'll do the same for the second layer. But this time I'll check Orientation Y Invert in the settings, so it moves in the opposite direction. Finally, for the third layer, I'll apply it to both Y rotation and X rotation and then crank up the speed. I've also got a depth-enabled camera already set up. When I turn it on, you can see we get the smooth looping motion. And the best part? No keyframes needed. All right, in this example, we're going to make this bottle float on the water using the wave option. First, I'll separate dimensions on position, so X and Y are split. Then I'll select Y position, go to the tool, pick wave, and hit apply. Next, in the layer settings, I'll increase position Y amount to make the wave motion bigger. Now I'll also select rotation and apply wave there too. As you can see, the combo doesn't look quite right yet. So I'll fix it by increasing the rotation offset to 90, and now the floating motion looks perfect. Okay, let's try out the Shapes option. I'll select Circle/Ellipse from the Shapes menu, enable Use Layer Time, and click Apply. Now in the layer settings, I can adjust radius X and radius Y. I'll also set position path ease to 100 so we get a nice little pause in the motion. Next, I'll duplicate this layer, move it forward a few frames, and repeat that a couple more times. That way, we get multiple circles following each other. Finally, I'll apply the shape to all of them, and here's the result. Now let's explore the wiggle option. In this example, I have 3 layers, the body and 2 wings of the insect. For the first wing layer, I'll apply wave, enable the use saw option, and set it to control rotation. Then, from the settings, I'll increase the speed of the motion. For the second wing, I'll repeat the same process, but this time I'll also adjust the offset value to create variation. Next, I'll parent both wing layers to the main body. On the body layer, I'll select position, apply the wiggle option, and then fine-tune the settings. By adjusting the amount and the movement speed along each axis, I can achieve the desired natural flying effect. Let's look at the next example, the loop option. In order to apply a loop, you must first select a property that contains keyframes. This is because the loop function is designed to repeat existing keyframed animations. Here, I've already added keyframes to the position property. Now, I'll apply loop from the tool, which provides 4 selectable loop modes, and as you can see, the animation is now cycling seamlessly. And here's the result. And finally, let's check out the last option, noise drift. First, I'll enable separate dimensions for the position of my layer. On the X position, I'll apply time drive so the dot moves steadily forward. Then, on the Y position, I'll apply noise drift and crank up the speed and amount in the settings. We've covered all the features of motion expressions, and as you saw, it makes animation way easier and way more fun. If you enjoyed this, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss the next tutorial. Catch you guys later. Bye.